He's had trouble recently over his views on race and Trump, the book of collected Hitler speeches, but clarified he's not actually Jewish.
Have this book? A friend of mine sent me a book. A man who I think is Jewish, although I...
Kendra G of props. I mean, a black woman to build. Is she always on black man? Yes. Is she a 304 once again? Yes. But that's what she had to say about black.
That can't create original content because no woman would ever. But the truth of the matter is, you're men. You know, we have all this conversation about men will to eat up off of because they're not doing it because they really want to give information.
The business cannot write this stuff. He's had trouble recently over his views on race and Trump, the book of collected Hitler speeches. But Clara,
I want to welcome you guys to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. I've been off for a couple of days, actually a couple of weeks, dealing with some trouble in the family. My mother just recently had a stroke, and I've been kind of going through some things. Before we get today's show started, because I wanted to ask the question, did America make its next Hitler? Is America creating the world's next Hitler? And I'm going to show you the pattern, because you know I'm big on patterns. They everywhere. You can see them, you can feel it. But before I get to that, I just want to say to all the content creators out there that I enjoy your content. And the reason I enjoy your content because people don't realize that this is our documentary. It's like a documentary of our lives in the days that we lived through stuff, that we lived through this stuff. Just like you had journals, newspapers, you don't really see publications anymore. What you have is podcasters. You know, back in the 1700s, they had news publications of advertisement on certain makeup for women, certain pantaloons and things of that nature. And come to find out, a lot of this stuff that they had advertised had bad chemicals in it. I was looking at an article the other day about some of the women in those eras using makeup that had lead and all kinds of bad chemicals in it. But they had publications. The point of the matter is, it's not what they used. It's about the publications advertising it. It's about the publications calling men to arms for war. It's the publications about the local rat catcher trying to chase down mice that was giving people the plague. And I enjoy your content because this is like our legacy that we're leaving behind for our grandkids and our great grandkids. Even long after we're back in the dirt, they can look back and say, that's my granddad or that's my grandmother. You know, I enjoy seeing TikTok videos with a mom and a daughter or granddaughter dancing together. I enjoy seeing the videos of people talking about today's politics and the things of that nature that's going on with America or the world. All of it's good. All of it. Even the bad stuff. When we see bad hurricanes and crime rates, all of this stuff is being documented and is being put out there for us to see now. But 100 years from now, it'll be archived. And I love it, because there's two people on planet Earth that is undefeated. That's grandfather time and grandmother death. And that's the reason that they give you time when you commit a crime, because that's the most precious thing you have on this planet. Not money, not children. Your time is the most precious thing you have on this planet. So when they give you 10 years, when they give you 15 years, when they give you 20 years, and then you get out, you have to play catch up to all the men and women that you used to know and went to school with. They have houses, they have cars. So it puts you inside of a loop. It puts you inside of a cycle, because you're going to have to do a few things to get that money, to make up for lost time. That's either commit more crimes or be smart enough to advance past the people that you left behind when you went to prison. There's two things certain in life: grandfather time and grandmother death. Now let's get into today's show. Is America creating its next Hitler? I think it is. And it's going to be bad in the next 4 or 5 years. Let's get into it.
The Daily Read, your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Wife Ivana, that Donald Trump allegedly kept a book of Hitler speeches on his nightstand. I mean, Lewis, you cannot write this stuff. He's had trouble recently over his views on race and immigration and Hispanic Americans and so on and so forth. And Ivana Trump indicated that from time to time, Donald Trump read Hitler's collected speeches. Trump is of German ancestry. He told Vanity Fair at the time that his friend, who is Jewish, gave him the book. The friend in question confirmed he did give Donald Trump the book of collected Hitler speeches, but clarified he's not actually Jewish. Because
Current issue of Vanity Fair, the author Marie Brenner says that you read from Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, and that these are speeches that you seem to admire. What's your reaction? Do you have this book?
A friend of mine sent me a book. A man who I think is Jewish, although I don't know.
President Donald Trump over the weekend defending his decision to fire a number of inspectors general from over a dozen federal agencies. It happened in a Friday night purge, and it raises concern about the future of oversight in his administration. The fired inspectors general were meant to serve as independent government watchdogs, a check against fraud, waste, or abuse of power. Though Trump, who fired a handful of inspectors general during his first term, says it is, quote, common practice, the scale of Trump's purge has not been seen since Ronald Reagan dismissed 15 IGs on his first day in office in 1981.
You have to get Kendra.
I'm going to stop that right there. And we're going to talk about the whole Kendra G thing also. I know it might not sound like it's related, but it is. Okay, understand something. The government watchdogs are there for a reason. They're there to protect us against government, so we don't have to pick up arms. When government overreaches, the watchdog sets it straight. By Donald Trump firing all of these people and not putting anybody in his place, he's creating a cesspool of criminals to come into the White House and around him without anybody paying attention or knowing, because there are no whistleblowers, there are no watchdogs. And the reason why I put the Kendra G thing in here and the Beyonce thing in here is because these are the distractions You know, I was gonna put Jess Hilarious also. I heard she got fired from the Breakfast Club, but these are the distractions that they give us in the minority community. You got to pay attention to this stuff.
Give props. I mean, a black woman to build a business like the way she did, to build a platform the way she did. Is she a 304? Yes. Is she dusty as hell? Yes. Is she always on black man? Yes. Is she a 304 once again? Yes. But this is what she had to say about black man.
Before I start the show, I want to say something directly to all the big men podcasters that can't create original content because no woman would ever call your show. So what you do is you stalk my page all day and you say you do reaction videos, but the truth of the matter is you're big men. You know, we have all this conversation about men, women being so masculine. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a big man trait. A big man can't build his own page. You know, he can't do it on his own. So we gotta find a woman to eat up off of. Because they're not doing it because they really want to give information. No, these are small penis nobodies, can never get attention, can't do it on their own. So they gotta come to my page. And some of y'all got wives. That means they gonna give birth to babies.
waste, fraud, and corruption.
Democrats warning that these firings are not going to cut government waste as promised.
The American people, if we don't have good and independent inspector generals, are going to see the swamp refill. They're going to see rampant waste, fraud. They're going to see corruption. It may be the president's goal here, when he's got a meme coin that's making him billions, is to remove anyone that's going to call the public attention to his malfeasance.
The brown shirts were a paramilitary militia that supported the rise of Nazism in Germany. One of their main functions was to act as agitators and rioters, interfering in the political actions of
This is the Proud Boys right here. The Proud Boys.
Communist and social democratic opponents, usually resorting to intimidation and violence. Under Rome's leadership, the brown shirts were responsible for much of the persecution of Jews and gypsies during the rise of Nazism. Fearing its growing power, Hitler ordered the purging of this group's leadership when he came to power. They were either arrested or murdered in the infamous Night of the Long Knives. Rome was then executed and the brown shirts were weakened.
This is a message to all you Proud Boys who might run across this channel. This is a message to you guys. When Donald Trump uses you up to get power, he knows somebody else can use you too. So he's going to eliminate you. He's taking step by step out of the playbook of Nazi Germany. Step by step. And it's working. Nobody's paying attention to it because we're paying attention to all kinds of garbage. Kendra G and Corey Holcomb, the comedian, is at each other's throat. Just Hilarious got fired. Beyonce won a Grammy for an album that quite frankly should have been on the shelf somewhere. Soon as her record label saw that album, they should have put it on the shelf and told her, listen man, go back and do something else. This is what we got.
Gradually lost space and power to the SS units.
In 5 simple steps.
I'm finna stop this right here because I want you guys to really understand that Hitler wrote the playbook on how to overthrow the government. He wrote the playbook on it. And Donald Trump read the playbook. He read Hitler's speeches. He studied this man. Donald Trump is a German. He's an immigrant himself. His wife is an immigrant. You got to understand there's a playbook here. There's a pattern. And Donald Trump is following by the pattern. But is Donald Trump, old as he is, the real Hitler? You got to understand what I'm saying, people. I want you all to listen to my voice on iHeartRadio if you aren't watching the video. Listen to my voice very carefully. Close your eyes and understand that we have set the stage for the next Hitler. Will it be Donald Trump? More than likely not. He's the catalyst. He's the person that sets the way, the path. Hitler was younger than Donald Trump. He had more time to enact his plan. Donald Trump is just setting it in motion. He's not going to be around to enact the plan. I'm going to take you step by step on Hitler's plan on how to overthrow a government and take power. Listen to this.
On January 6th, 2021, thousands of rioters, many coming from the Save America rally,
stormed the U.S. Capitol as Congress met to certify the 2020 presidential election results.
Step 1, burn something. It doesn't necessarily mean physically burning something, but you can burn something by tearing down an institution. Step 1, the riots. That's step 1. We're finna move on to step 2.
Steve Kornacki, I just have to jump in. And you've been predicting this. We've been waiting for it. And we do have some breaking news from the decision desk. NBC News can now project that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, which means he is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president.
That was step 2. Enable the power. The people in America, with their hidden bigotry, enabled the power. They gave a man who doesn't care about them, doesn't care about nothing in life except for white people. They gave him the power. And for all of those who are in the black community that say, man, Donald Trump might not like black people, but he's about money, this and that, man, stop it. Donald Trump is one step away from a dictator. All he has to do is put a few more pieces to the puzzle in pocket, and everything, the rug is going to be snatched off from under everybody. Let's move on to step 3. Step 1 and 2, check mark.
Wir haben einen neuen Feind.
Who are you, sir? I've sent the Assistant Secretary a letter alerting her that we would be here today, and we've asked her for a meeting.
What do you do here? Get out of the way. Your job.
That was step 3. Legalize rebellion. Donald Trump is creating an atmosphere of legalized rebellion by refusing senators from entering certain buildings, by purging the FBI. He's doing it legally because, like step 2, they put him in power. So now legally, he can hire me off the streets to stand in front of some doors and tell a congressman, you can't come in here. This is dangerous, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's concerned about it. Nobody's seeing the pattern. I'm sure there's some people that see the pattern, but they're not going to give a shit until bombs start dropping. Let's move on to number 4, clean house.
The new Trump administration has fired federal prosecutors at the Department of Justice who were involved in the criminal cases investigating President Trump and his role in the January 6th Capitol riots. Let's get right to CNN's Chief.
That was step 4, clean house. He got rid of all the watchdogs. He's basically purging anybody that's going to stand in front of him and tell him, listen, this is a wrong idea. Don't do this. This is some dangerous stuff. Is anybody paying attention though? Let's move on to step 5.
go back and check how our democracy is doing. So the only thing left between Hitler and total control over Germany was an 86-year-old Paul von Hindenburg, who was serving as president of Germany at the time. On the evening of August 2nd, 1934, Paul von Hindenburg died. Hitler wasted no time, and on the same day, he merged the chancellorship with the presidency, effectively erasing Hindenburg's position and consolidating all power into his own hands, making him the supreme leader of Germany.
The business, mother.
I wanted to end that off by letting you guys know that step 5 is the step we're in right now for complete dominance and control, taken over by Donald Trump as the new Hitler, or a lead into the new Hitler of the world, and nobody's paying attention. You got to understand how this is working. Right now we're in the waiting stage. The waiting stage is what Hitler did after he made all of his moves. He waited until the president of that country died. Donald Trump's waiting phase is the election. Let me explain that, because the pattern is there. What he's waiting on is when the next election comes, can he find enough people in Congress to try to change the election to where a president can serve more than 2 terms. We in trouble, people. They haven't said it yet, but it's coming. It's coming. And we're distracted by a lot of garbage. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about when I say a lot of garbage. Let's take for example the whole Kendra G and Corey Holcomb situation. We all know Corey Holcomb, what he owned. He'll tell you. He can take these few dollars in his pocket and he gonna try to get a straggler and pay her for some sex if he got to. And Kendra G was a straggler, but now she got money because of her show. So now they beefing. I'm finna show you something else that's a distraction. The whole Just Hilarious and Kendra G. I peeped this out. Kendra G said, I wish I had the recording, but Kendra G said the reason she quit radio was because a position opened up, and I think she was talking about the Breakfast Club. A position opened up and she was passed over for that position. So when she went to Italy, she turned in her resignation letter and never went back. Now she's a multi-millionaire with a successful dating show. All of a sudden, after Kendra G said what she said, Just Hilarious got fired. Can y'all put 2 and 2 together? This is the distraction I'm talking about. I'm willing to guarantee you, somewhere in the back rooms of radio, some broadcaster decided we're gonna take out Just Hilarious and maybe get this offer to Kendra G, since she's popping right now. Because make no mistake about it, Kendra G is popping right now. I give her all her props. She's popping. Then comes the Super Bowl, and she has a debacle with the wig falling off. and it went viral. Bald headed, up under that wig, $2,000 wig. Then she appeared on the Tamron Hall show, talking crazy. I'm talking about crazy. A man got to pay for her $2,000 wigs. I almost said, bitch, you ain't even worth that. When I heard her say that, in my mind, I was thinking, bitch, you ain't even worth that. You got to be joking. Pay for your $2,000 wig. Are you serious right now? This is what I mean when I say the distraction. So now let's put it together. Let's put the distraction together. Corey Holcomb, Kendra G get into it. She gets on her show blasting out men. Then she talks about why she quit radio. Just Hilarious gets fired because the Breakfast Club is radio. I wonder, did they offer Kendra G that spot on the Breakfast Club? Stay tuned, people. Did they take it back? Because then she goes to the Super Bowl and her cap almost fell off. Her wig cap. She just might have sabotaged herself. Because trust and believe, people in radio are looking at her now. Especially some like the Breakfast Club that needs the ratings. This is the distraction. This is what we as minorities is distracted by. All of this. The whole time we might be looking at a new Führer, a new Hitler on the rise in this country. I saw that debacle with him and the President Zelensky in the White House. It was horrible. I felt sorry for that man. Your country is being invaded by Russia, and you basically got to come and sit down and talk to a man who don't like you, who likes Russia, and Russia don't like him. This is weird. But it's not weird because the pattern is there. Donald Trump likes white. Not saying he won't do business with a black person. Not saying he won't tolerate a black person in the White House as one of his stool pigeons or stoolies. What is Russia? Russia is like one of the last bastions of white people. Everywhere else you go in the world, blacks have integrated into the society. England, Europe, blacks have integrated into society. Swiss, blacks have entered into society. Even in Germany, you got black Germans. I did a show on black Germans not too long ago. Everywhere you go in this world, blacks have integrated into their society, except for Russia. It's a pattern. Are you surprised why Donald Trump don't like Russia? When he can go to Russia and not see a black face in the crowd. Won't see a black face. I'm not saying blacks is not in Russia. I'm not saying that. But they're not integrated in Russian society. Same thing with China. You can go to China and see black people, but blacks is not integrated in Chinese society. Those two countries are like the last bastion where it's all Chinese and all white. I hope y'all get value from this to help you think and look at the big picture of what's going on around you. This is the Daily Read, and I'm out. The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.